We all know Neco Arc from the memes that float around Twitter and Reddit, but you probably clicked on this video because you're curious if this character was actually usable. Sorry for the spoiler, but if you seriously want to play current code, don't play this character. The only one that resembles a real character is C-NecoMech, so if you are committed to the meme, play that character. Any other version, you will not have a good time. But we're going to rank them anyways, and who knows, maybe you can disrespect someone at casuals or on netplay if you decide to learn one of these characters. Let's first talk about what we are ranking. For this video, I'm going to include on this list all 3 moons of the Neco Arc, all 3 Neco Arc Chaoses, and for the sake of a bigger list, I'll also discuss NecoMech a little bit because they're sort of a real character. One moon is, at least. First off, we have Crescent Moon Neco Arc. All Neco Arcs specialize in punishing techs for decent damage. They all have access to a 6-3-2-1-4-C. If you land, flips both players' inputs, so down becomes up, left becomes right, etc. for a short amount of time. If you somehow get used to this, you could really throw off your opponent. If you're going to play Neco Arc, make sure it's Crescent. While this character has a terrible time getting in, if you do manage to get in, it's possible to take rounds, since her post-combo positioning and ability to punish techs can result in good damage off an opening. Neco Arc's small hitbox can serve as a solid knowledge check, since a majority of characters' hitboxes and bread and butter combos just don't work on this character. This character also has surprisingly solid frame data, with her 2A being the fastest in the game, coming out at 3 frames. She also has access to a solid backdash with 16 frames of invincibility and only 5 frames of recovery. This makes it very difficult to punish on reaction. You can also cancel ground normals into it. Neco Arc's bread and butter also does 3,836 damage on V-Scion, which really isn't that bad for a joke character. But let's talk about the negatives. Good frame data can only get you so far since this character has abysmal range, making it almost impossible to get a whiff punish. Combine that with her air dash being designed for stalling and not mobility, makes this character's ability to get in even worse. If you do play this character, in short, she is usable when she gets in, but getting in can feel impossible against a competent player. So I guess I'll put her in sorta usable tier. Alright, let's talk about the other moons. There really is no reason to play them when Crescent is here. They all lose something from Crescent that doesn't get replaced by anything worthwhile. Her half moon version loses air blood rings, but gets the universal half moon 5A, 6AA series, and a long JC that reaches diagonally down, and an air version of laser beams. The laser beams seem useful, but mess with her air momentum, making them much worse than blood rings. She also loses 236 as a combo starter or ender, since 236C on Crescent knocks down, it's a big tool to be missing. 5A is also a bit slower, which sucks. Truly no reason to use this character over Crescent. So we're just going to put her in uninstall tier. Full Moon does have something in the mobility department. Instead of having that slow air stalling air dash, she can rocket back and forth with a somewhat regular air dash, which can help get in, but she loses ground lasers. She has access to air lasers, but they're just straight up terrible. Her JC is a usable air-to-air, and 5C is a large ground move, but still losing 236B is enough to just say use Crescent. So put her in the same tier as Half Moon. That's all we got for the original Neco Arc. Let's talk about Neco Arc Chaos, the joke version of Nero. General notes about this character, then we'll break down the moons. This character possesses some huge hurt boxes that extend up on startup, a lot of times coming out before the hitbox, terrible proration, and overall low base damage. If you do get a clean hit, you could get decent damage, but similar to the original Neco Arc, good luck doing that. Let's tackle Crescent first. As similar to Neco Arc, this is the best moon. Ripped straight from the wiki, the overview says, you're playing a joke character, so your point is to be annoying. Keep away and timer scams are the only viable way to play Neco Arc Chaos. Just make sure you are the one with the life lead when you're trying to timer scam. Crescent gives you the ability to rebeat, which allows you to have pressure somewhat resembling a Melty Blood character. If you do play this character, just go with Crescent. I'm gonna put they are worse than Crescent Neco arc, so I'll put them in the tier below. Half Moon Neco Arc Chaos is the one that you see used by Skeleton, and I'm here to tell you he only wins with that character because Skeleton's just really good at this game. Overall, this character is trash. This version acts as a sort of middle ground between Nero and Neco Arc. This version loses his good backdash and plays like a worse C-Nero. The overall game plan is to push the opponent into the corner and use jump 2C for a soft knockdown that you can chase with 2B or pressure if they don't tech. Some of his normals are chargeable for bigger hitboxes, but you're unable to convert off of them. He does have a command throw, but that requires your opponent to respect this character in the first place. So we will just slot that one in right there. Full Moon is just a worse Crescent, just through and through. 214 series can be used as a high-risk mix-up, but he can only now backdash, cancel, 5A, and 2A. His normals are the long-ranged version of the other moon's charge moves, but you can't backdash cancel them anymore, and you get way worse damage. This is the one who's considered just the worst character in the entire game. Alright, finally, let's talk about NecoMech. If you're committed to the whole Neco arc bit, this is the character for you. In short, pick Crescent. She is actually a solid mid-tier character with decent set play. Crescent Moon has solid mobility, decent corner carry, great pressure. Hitting the cat can result in favorable trades, tick throw setups, and just a bunch of janky stuff. The hitbox from hitting Neco is air unblockable as well. Overall, her damage ceiling is pretty low and requires the ability to set up Neco arc shenanigans, but hey, this might be the first and only real character on this list, so we shall put her in the actually usable tier. Alright, Full Moon is basically just Crescent Moon, but worse. She doesn't have Neco Rocket anymore, some solid damage and a really solid DP, but you're just better off playing Crescent as she's the most complete character on this list. Half Moon is the worst of all the moons for NecoMech. She doesn't have a good way of resetting pressure, and on top of that, to use this character successfully, you have to be really technical, and is never worth the investment you're going to have to use to this character. So that's the tier list I got for you. Use C-NecoMech. that's all I gotta tell you. If you are committed to using one of the actual cats, use their Crescent versions, as they're the best options you're gonna have. Their Half Moon and Full Moon versions are just, they're not as good as their Crescent ones, so just go with that. If you made it this far, consider dropping a like on the video, commenting what you think about it, and maybe drop a sub. That helped the channel out a lot. Thanks for watching. See ya.